Good morning, everyone. Hey, I'm a key worker for the Air Force Assistance Fund this year. I was hoping I could take 10 minutes to talk to you guys about it.
Hey, Sergeant Kelly, what's going on?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, I saw your email about coming by to talk to us about the AFAF campaign. And
Right.
looks like there's a new PDF contribution form.
I see you filling that out, man. It looks good. Check this out. Don't let me interrupt you. That's perfect.
All right, brother.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Hey, Miss P, hey, weren't you retired Air Force?
You bet. 24 years. Just retired 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Well, I don't know if you knew, but the Air Force Assistance Fund campaign was called a By Us, For Us campaign. We're able to run the Air Force Assistance Fund campaign because it's beneficial to those we actually solicit from. So I have to make sure not to ask civilian non-retirees they would like to give. But of course, if you weren't a retiree and heard me telling others in your office about the campaign and decided to give, I could accept an unsolicited donation of cash or check.
When you say cash or check, ever since I was an airman, I remember the AFAF always allowed me to do a payroll deduction.
Military members and retirees can give by the payroll deduction plan, but non-retirees aren't eligible to benefit from the 4 charities. And remember, this is a By Us, For Us campaign, and that's why we're limited to cash or check contributions from non-retirees.
The retiree, I could still use the payroll deduction option.
Sure can. There are only 2 differences from when you are on active duty. First is that instead of the deduction coming from your civilian paycheck, it'll come from your retired pay. Secondly, you might remember that when you're in uniform, you have the option of giving between 3 and 12 months. Retiree payroll deductions are set for a full 12 months.
Good to know. I'll go ahead and use the PDF form you sent me. Print it out and fill it out, so this way you don't have to decipher my horrible handwriting.
Yeah, the PDF form is really handy. Notice that when you check the retiree box, it'll automatically default to 12 months. The new PDF versions have made it a lot easier for us key workers and contributors since it has automated features that totals amounts and helps us follow 10 built-in rules. I'll look it over after you're done if you want me to.
So, Sergeant Cully, was this part of the CFC campaign? Because I thought that was over for this year.
Hey Jasmine, good morning. No, the CFC is completely different from the Air Force Assistance Fund campaign. So Jazz, the CFC runs through every federal agency starting in the fall and usually ends just after the new year. CFC also has over 8,000 charities that you can choose from. But the AFAF campaign is the only authorized Air Force workplace campaign. That's for airmen, by airmen, where the 4 charities strictly benefit airmen and our families.
So, is everyone in the Air Force expected to give to all 4 charities? And how much are we expected to give?
That's a good question. Like all other fundraising programs in the Air Force, this campaign is voluntary. So we're not supposed to give, but we are supposed to be allowed the opportunity to give. So you can decide if and how much you want to give, but before you do, also have a guide that's going to help you figure out, exactly where you might fall while you go to charity. Is that good? Hey, check this out. So, my little trusty folder, we have the Air Force Assistance Fund Campaign Giving Guide. This guide has a lot of good information for you. It might answer a lot of your questions. So, Jazz, the Air Force takes care of this. To me, I think of giving to the AFAF charities as paying it forward. Today, I might be the person donating, but tomorrow, I might be the person in need of one of the charities.
Hey, Sergeant Kelly. Jasmine just pinned on her 3rd stripe, so she probably hasn't been involved with a lot of AFAF campaigns. May not be familiar with the 4 charities. Now, I've been a unit project officer before, so I've got some experience with people's personal stories and how the charities have helped, but let me not take the thunder away.
Fine, man. Hey, thanks, Nick. Tonight, most of us have either been in the Air Force a long time or know someone, or have heard multiple stories about people needing help in the Air Force Aid Society. The other 2 charities focus mostly on retirees and surviving family members. But I'll tell you about them in a minute. Before I do that, let me get you familiar with the brochure that we have as well. We call this Take Care of Our Own, and like I said a little bit ago, that's the purpose of this program. So the Air Force Aid Society has 3 major missions: emergency financial assistance to airmen and their families, educational support, and community enhancement programs. For over 75 years now, the Air Force Aid Society has been providing airmen grants of money during emergency. For example, when I was in Korea, we had a lot of individuals who found out their families were in bad shape or there were situations going on, such as accidents or deaths in the family. It wasn't unlikely that the Air Force Aid Society, with the assistance of Red Cross, would help the airmen by giving money to buy a last-minute plane ticket or having money to help them rent a car when they got to the other side.
Wow, this really is a good cause to know about.
It truly is, Jasmine. The one thing is that a lot of airmen don't know about this until they make that trip over to the Airmen and Family Readiness Center, where they have Air Force Aid Society officers on staff. Those individuals can help provide the airmen with the grant money to cover travel expenses. And they can also provide the information about emergency situations that may require funding as well. No interest loans for Air Force families. And then, on top of all that, there's the education support mission. The Air Force Aid helps fund college tuition for spouses and for dependent children. And the community enhancement programs they support vary from base to base. Airmen and Family Readiness Centers can tell you what's available to you. But, for example, they have the Bundles for Babies program that gives expectant parents training on basic parenting skills, as well as a gift card that helps purchase some of the essentials when a baby's born. There are car care programs, child care programs, and programs specifically for military spouses. And for every dollar an airman contributes to the Air Force Aid Society, the society distributes $3 to airmen and their families. In 2018, the society provided over $15 million in direct assistance from the airmen, or to the airmen and their families, with more than 45,000 direct assistance.
Wow, that's amazing, Sergeant Cully. The Air Force really does take care of its own, like you said.
It's really true, guys, and it doesn't end when you retire. If you stay in the Air Force and retire as enlisted, or if you stay as an officer and retire, the General and Mrs. LeMay Foundation, if you want to take a look at this brochure, will be there in case you pass on and your surviving spouse needs help. Since 1987, the LeMay Foundation has helped over 1,000 Air Force retirees, widows, and widowers pay for one-time emergency expenses, as well as recurring expenses like minor home repairs or dental and medical needs. The LeMay Foundation provides this assistance through grants of monetary assistance that doesn't need to be paid back. The LeMay Foundation is here so our surviving spouses can remain living in their own home with the dignity that they deserve after standing with us all for all those years while we were in the Air Force. And most of their donations come from us in active duty.
So that's just two of the charities. You said there were 4, and you already covered assistance for Air Force members and surviving spouses. What else could be left?
Well, not all of our surviving spouses are able to indefinitely stay in their homes, guys. Like those helped by the LeMay Foundation, sometimes they need more help. For the surviving spouses of Air Force officers, the Air Force Villages Charitable Foundation is there.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
I know you're like, what? Officers are the ones with all the money. Why should they need help? Usually, the answer is that these men and women have experienced a catastrophic crisis that has just drained their savings, or the soaring cost of health care has just become too overwhelming.
So how does the Air Force Villages Foundation help?
The foundation provides financial support to those spouses in need so that they can live there at Blue Skies of Texas, which is located in San Antonio. It's right down the road from a base called Lackland Air Force Base. I know you're familiar with that, right?
Yeah, I'll never forget Lackland.
The Blue Skies of Texas is a full spectrum of care campus. There's independent living, there's assisted living facilities, and even memory and nursing care. The Air Force Villages Charitable Foundation takes care of their residents, just like their family.
Man, you just don't think about these things while you're on active duty, and those years of retirement feel so far away. I haven't thought about it, have you? Because sometimes I feel like I just got here still. But I see what everyone means when they talk about the Air Force being a family.
That's it exactly. And surviving spouses of enlisted retirees have the Air Force Enlisted Village to turn to. Their mission is simple: to provide a home. Like the Air Force Village Charitable Foundation for surviving spouses of officers, the Air Force Enlisted Village will make sure that nobody is ever turned away due to an inability to pay to live there. In 2018 alone, the Enlisted Village provided $755,000 in financial support through the AFEV's Benevolence Program to surviving spouses in need. Our family members have beautiful homes there at Bob Hope Village, which is the independent living community at the village, and Hawthorne House, which is the assisted living and memory support residence. And, like the villages in San Antonio for officers, the Air Force's Enlisted Village is also located close to an Air Force base. Eglin Air Force Base is basically across the street, and Herbert Air Force Base is close by too. So both of these charities provide our surviving spouses a home with like-minded Air Force family members
that's close to military medical facilities and benefits like the commissary and BX.
Jazz, you think you'd be interested in giving this year? Look, the easiest way to give, and the way about 3/4 of our donors like to give, is by the payroll deduction program, or PDP. You can fill in Section B of the Air Force Form 2561. I think I got that. Or you can give by PDP. So if you want, you can pull it up on the screen.
Well, yeah, I guess since Sergeant West and Miss Pena have already filled it out and know what they're doing, is it possible I can bring it up and you help me?
Indeed. No problem at all. I got you. Now, if you plan to give cash or check, you can just skip the Social Security block. But it's required to put all 9 digits of your Social Security number if you give via PDP, so DFAS can process your allotment. All right, great. Now enter your squadron and your email address since you're active duty, and you'll click the AD box. First, let me also show you some of the capabilities of the form. Hey, check this out. Click the RET box for retirees. Did you see the months column change, and then you have all 12s added?
Oh, yeah.
For retirees who give via PDP, they sign up for a full 12 months of giving from the retired pay. Now, click the Civ box where a non-retiree civilian will click. Now, there's no text boxes to use for the PDP because, like I told Ms. Pena, this is for us, by us. So the civilian non-retirees can benefit. So we aren't allowed to offer payroll deduction options for them, just cash or checks offered to us unsolicited. Okay, now click on either Air National Guard or Reserve, ANG or RES. So you can see the message displayed if a Guard member or reservist decides to give via PDP. You can see by the message that an Air National Guard or Reserve member, they're not given the opportunity to use the PDP. Only if they are in full-time status. The message needs to be fixed in the next version though, where it says allotments begin 1 June of the following year. It should say allotments begin 1 June of the campaign year. That's another thing to note, and it doesn't show that on the form. Active duty, Air National Guard, and Reserve members contributing to by PDP will have their allotment start on 1 June, and they end the following 1st of May. Retiree PDP, however, Jazz, runs from 1 July to the following 1 June. So if you click on the active duty box again, you can fill in the amount you would like allotted per month in the allotment column of the charity or charities you'd like to give to. All right, great. So you've chosen $5 per month per charity to all 4 charities. Now, remember, retirees all give for 12 months, but active duty, Guard, and Reserve members have a choice of giving between 3 and 12 months. Go ahead and try to fool the form and type in a 2 in the months column. Then, try to click in next to months box to see if it tells you that you have the entry. See? So it should tell you right there, and it does, that the entry has to be between 3 and 12 months. So go ahead and type in the number of months you choose to give each of the charities. Alright, all you need to do now is determine if you want to fill in the voluntary information release authorization area, which is below. Now Jazz, if you do that, the charity or charities you decide to give to will get your name and contact info you provide, as well as the amount you gave to the charity. They won't see your social security number or the amount you gave to their charities. And, of course, if you had chosen to give by cash or check, you'd have the option to fill out this area as well. But that's it. You're done. If you print out 3 copies, that'll give us 1 for you, 1 for the installation project officer to maintain. They maintain those for a year, and 1 for the finance office to use to start your allotment. Check out how much you've given to help out your fellow airmen and their families over the period of a year. $240. And by the way, that's huge. And it's just $20 a month coming out of your paycheck. We blow that on pizza on Friday nights, right?
Yeah, that's true. I definitely won't miss that pizza. I definitely think I can give it up to make sure the Air Force family's taken care of. Paying it forward, like you said.
Thanks, Jasmine. You really get it. And you're helping us continue the long legacy of taking care of our airmen.